Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Tuesday Cruise Day. Guys, how are you guys doing? I'm super ecstatic for being, and don't mind my hair because I just been super busy. I didn't even get a chance to stand up from here, but I'm super excited that you guys are here today. Today, guys, we're going to answer all of the different questions that I get throughout the weeks and the months. I put them all together and I do one of these for you guys. So today's all about answering your cruise questions. And for those of you that are coming in new to my channel, my name is Jackie Gonzalez. I am a travel advisor for Expedia Cruises. And for those of you that have been here for 3 years, guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking our channel, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your friends. So with that being said, guys, how are you guys doing on this beautiful Tuesday? It is evening time. Maybe some of you are having your dinner right now and just watching and laying back and relaxing. And if that's what you're doing, thank you so much for being here. And make sure you put a comment, a little wave or something, letting me know that you're here. I do see how many people are here. And even though sometimes a lot of people do not comment during the show, I'm still thankful that you guys are here watching my live stream. So with that being said, guys, welcome in and welcome back. We are going to be answering all of you guys' questions today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start. Hopefully you guys had a great Tuesday. And we have 20 questions all together, guys. This is a lot of questions that I've been compiling throughout the weeks. And I wanted to do a show, that has all the questions and answers and all of that. And one of the questions that I received is, what is the best cruise line for first-time cruiser? So guys, if you're a first-time cruiser, or if you're watching my replay down the road and you're looking to see what is the best cruise line for a person that is a solo cruiser, which actually, talking about solo cruising, last week we actually talked about solo cruising. So go check that vlog out, or actually that live stream out, and it will help you a lot with solo cruising. But what is the best cruise line for the first-time cruiser? It depends on what you want, truly. Royal Caribbean is great for activities, also for families. Princess, guys, is known for more traditional experiences. Carnival focuses on fun and value. And Celebrity offers a more upscale experience. So it's really like, what is your vibe? Who the person that you are, depending on that vibe. It could be Royal. It could be Princess. It could be Carnival. It could be Celebrity, Norwegian. And guys, for those of you that don't know, Norwegian is actually building more structural over there in their private island, Stirrup Cay. So it could be Norwegian. It could be an MSC cruise if you've never tried one. So there's many different varieties for first-time cruiser. It's really all about your vibe. What is it that you, as the first-time cruiser, what is it that you like, don't like? Are you a person that loves to party? It will be Carnival. If you're a person that you're like into Broadway shows and things like that, Royal Caribbean is the best thing for that. If you're a person that loves to chill and relax, Celebrity Cruises is one of the best cruises to do that. If you are more like an explorer, I will definitely go with Princess and Holland. And you probably say, why Princess and Holland? Because you can always go to Alaska. They have that tour over there in the Denali area where you can explore all of Alaska through a train, and then you have a cruise. You can submerge yourself into that experience completely. So it really all depends on the person that you are and what is it that you're looking in travel. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go to our next question here because there's 20 of them and we got to go through all of this. So how much does a cruise really cost? It all depends. Truly, it all depends. Because remember, with the cruise, you only have the cruise fare, you have the port taxes and fees. gratuities, travel protection. If you're going to have to add some flights, then you add flights. Plus, if you want excursions, you got to think about excursions. Depending on the type of cruise line that you get, it might come with some drinks and Wi-Fi. If not, you have to purchase drinks and Wi-Fi. So the advertised fare is only of the cost. You should also budget for, like what I said, for taxes, gratuities, drinks, excursions, specialty restaurants, Wi-Fi, transportation, flights. It depends on how much of it you want to spend and how less of it you want to, save. That's really depending on you, the traveler. If you're a first-time cruiser, I do suggest that try to buy all your excursions through the cruise line, until you really know and understand the world in cruising and you can maneuver yourself very well into that world. Then yeah, I could say maybe go outside a little bit and you can save a little bit of money. But it's not like if you're saving tons of money if you do an outside excursion either, So that's just to keep the cost a little bit, on the lowdown. What should I pack for a cruise? Well, it depends. It depends how long is your cruise. Are you going on a 3-4 days, a 7, a 14, 20, 30 on a world cruise? Pack casual clothing, swimwear, comfortable walking shoes, formal or elegant attire. And require medication is a must. If you have medication, sunscreen, and important travel documents. Those are the basic things to pack on a cruise. Just keep in mind, guys, that on a cruise, just because they don't actually weight your luggage or ask you to bring one luggage per person, you can bring as many luggages as you want. Just keep in mind that depending, you can drop them off at the port, but when you're returning back, you have a way of leaving it outside of your door and they'll take all your luggage with them, or you can just take your luggage with you on the way out. So just keep in mind, depending on how do you want to debark, that's probably, how you're going to figure out what to pack and things like that. Hey, Bill, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here today with us, Bill. One of the other questions that I received was, is the balcony cabin worth the extra money? Well, it all depends. If you're actually traveling like a 3 or 4 dayer, if you're traveling 7 days or more, I usually, for my clients, if you're doing 7 days or more, definitely a balcony, because you get fresh air. It gives you, you get more for your money getting a balcony that way than a 3 and a 4 dayer, because you're on a 3 and a 4 day, you're pretty much just using your cabin to sleep, take a shower, and you're back out the door. So for many travelers, yes, a balcony will give you your private outdoor space, and it can especially have value in scenic cruises like Alaska and European itineraries. I definitely do suggest that you do get a balcony for those. But if you want to save a little bit of money, then, just go with an ocean view if you still want some sort of view, or an interior room if you really want to save. Just keep in mind that when you're traveling on these Oasis types class or Icon class ships, they do have the interior Oasis as well. Sorry, not interior Oasis, interior cabins on Central Park. So there's some cabin types that are still considered interior, but they're in different parts of the cruise, and you can still take advantage of the low cost and save yourself a little bit of more money. What is the best deck to stay on? I get this question quite a bit. What is the best deck? Is it forward? Is it mid? Is it aft? There isn't one perfect deck. Midship cabin can generally experience less motion depending on the cruise that you're going in, while the higher decks can provide a convenient access to pools and outdoor areas. Hey, Chiquita, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here today. So when it comes to the best deck, there is no perfect deck, to be honest. But if you are a person that you're a little bit more prone to seasickness, then I'll definitely do midship and do really middle of the ship, midship, stay into that area. But you have to keep in mind that like the Icon class, like the MSC Seashore, the World America, these ships have about 20 decks, 20 plus decks. So even if you say I'm on deck 8, you're pretty much like on the bottom. So mainly like deck 10, 11, and 12, or those are the kind of like mid areas. So it depends on the person that you are. If you are more, if you don't get seasick or anything like that, I like to travel on the aft of the ship. I don't know why, I just enjoy it more. And I am a starboard chick. So I like to do starboard aft. And if I can actually get a sunset veranda, even better for me, for sure. So it's one of those things that, you got to figure out, your personality when you're traveling. And if you really don't care, I have a lot of customers, you know what, put me anywhere as long as it's this price, we're good to go. And a lot of people do guarantees. And I'm going to talk a little bit about guarantee cabins, because there's a lot of people that don't understand guarantee. Sorry I missed. Oh, no problem. It was a happy anniversary. I'm so happy for you. Happy anniversary. Um, a lot of people have the misconception about guarantee cabins, guys. And I'm going to stop right here. And I'm going to get a little bit off topic here, but this is very important that you guys, as my travelers, understand when purchasing a guarantee cabin, you have zero. But when I say zero, there is no chance that you can move that cabin to a different area once you get your cabin. It's not like you could say, well, I'm on deck 9, cabin 91 or 190-100. I want to be on deck 11 by my cousin's cabin, and her cabin is cabin 12432. You can't do that. If you want to be in the cabin 431, then you needed to book that cabin as a 12431, because a guarantee cabin is whatever cabin any of the cruise lines you're traveling with, they will give you that cabin and they will not change it. And I have had some instances, not a whole lot, but some of them where my customers get the cabin and then they're not happy where they were located. And then they want us to change the cabin, and there's nothing that we can do because that's what they purchased. So just keep that in mind. And when purchasing your cabin, keep in mind that guarantee, you have no say. So if there's a cabin that you really want, then it's best for you to pick that cabin and stick with it than getting a guarantee cabin that you really don't know where you're going to end up at. So our next question is, hold on. Do I need a passport to go on a cruise? I highly suggest that you have a passport to go on a cruise, but it also depends on the itinerary, the cruise line, and the nationality. A passport is generally a safest choice, especially for international cruises. When I say I highly suggest that you have a passport, it's not because you cannot travel as an American citizen only, that you can travel in the Caribbean with your birth certificate and your ID. If you're going to be traveling to Europe as an American citizen, you do need a passport to enter Europe. And now, guys, talking about a little bit about Europe, you're going to have to do the ITAS, the EITAS, which is a visa to get into Europe. And I think that's going to start up next year. So that's going to be another live stream when that comes out. I'm going to show you guys how to get into it, where to go, and all of that stuff. But I do highly suggest to getting a passport if you don't have one. It is not that you need one, but you don't know if you're in a situation where you get sick, they got to medevac you out of there. And if you're, let's say, in Cozumel and they medevac you to Cozumel for whatever reason, or you have to stay there and you have to come back, guess what? Now you're paying $250 for a 14 days passport that it only is going to be good for 14 days just to get you out of Cozumel to back to the United States, where the original price of a passport is $140 for 10 years. So keep that in mind when traveling, that, do get a passport, because if something were to happen, you don't want to be stuck in a different, in the Caribbean, one of the Caribbean islands, because that's considered, international, and you will need a passport to get out of there. So what happens if I miss the ship in port? Hopefully you guys never miss the ship in port. But if you were to miss the ship in port, the ship normally, what happens is they will not wait for you guys. If you're late, you're late. Sometimes I've been on ships where it's been a half hour and the ship will stay there. If there's an excursion that is running late, the ship has to stay there for that excursion until that excursion gets back, because that's the guarantee. So if you're a person that you're just wandering around town and you're late and the ship is still there, maybe you were one of those lucky persons to get on back on the ship, because the ship will wait. But now if everybody's on the ship and the ship waits like maybe 10-15 minutes, and if you're not back, they will go into your cabin, they will get your passport or anything or any documentation that you need. They will have your medication, anything that is like super like that you really need. They're not going to pack up your clothes and leave them there. That's not going to happen. But they will get your passport, your medication, money, whatever it is that you have that they can find in your cabin. They will leave it there with the port handlers. And then you have to arrange your own transportation, either to the next port at your own expense or come back home at your own expense. No cruise line is going to pay for your transportation to get back home, or they're going to refund you back. That's going to be on you, because that was your fault that you were late back. It tells you what time to get off the ship and what time to get back on the ship. They're very clear about those two. So always keep in mind that when you're traveling overseas, and if they do a change in hour, make sure that your watch is always at ship time. It is important that your watch is always at ship time, because that's what's going to help you getting back on the ship on time. It has happened where people have gotten off and their watch stays Eastern Standard Time, and they're thinking they have an extra hour. And next thing you know, guess what? The ship is leaving and you're here in Cozumel having a tequila, and you can't get back on that ship. It's gone. You lost it. So either you drive to Costa Maya or Roatan, wherever the ship is going next, and waiting for the ship to get there the next day. You're going to have to probably get a hotel and all of that. So guys, it's going to be a lot of money out of your pocket. So make sure you get back on board on time. Another question that I have here is, are cruises excursions worth the money? It can be, particularly like when visiting a destination, like for the first time, or when transportation and timing are complicated. Independent tours can sometimes be less expensive. Now, to all of my travelers out there that go on a lot of cruising, or whether you're taking a flight or you're going to Punta Cana and you're doing an all-inclusive or whatever the case may be, always keep in mind that you're going someplace that you don't know. The tours that you're purchasing, make sure that if you're purchasing a tour outside of the cruise line, that tour is going to bring you back in time and it's legit. Hey, Mike, how are you? Welcome in, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that tour that you're purchasing, whether it's to get your guides, whether it's through Viator, to TripAdvisor, through our Expedia Shore Excursion area, make sure that you have all the ducks on a row. A lot of people don't know this about Expedia, but here in our Expedia Center, we do have shore excursions, and they do match very well with the ship, and they do guarantee you to be back on that ship in time. So if you're looking for a little bit of like a savings or anything like that, then that might be the thing for you to do, is to go with maybe an Expedia excursion, because you know for sure you're going to be back. But keep in mind, guys, that you're going international. When you're sometimes people get off the port, and sometimes people, to save a few dollars, like maybe $5-10, they don't buy the excursion through the cruise line. They go to Joe from this corner and buy the excursion. God forbid there's an accident, there's traffic, whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that this happens all the time, because it doesn't, but you never know what will happen on the day that you're traveling. And if you come back late, guess what? If that ship leaves, it's going to be at your own expense and at your own risk. So keep that in mind when traveling, and doing excursions, because excursions are really good. Because the way that I do excursions is I look at the itinerary, and if I see something that I have never done, then yeah, I will do it there, and I will do it with the cruise line. I always do it with the cruise line, because I like to my peace of mind for me is a must. And with my travel, and God forbid, that as a travel advisor, keep in mind, I leave my computer, my workstation on that ship. I do not want to risk it for the biscuit that if that ship leaves me, there goes all of my clients with the ship. And if you're calling me, I can't help you. So I got to make sure that I always book everything through the cruise line, because if anything happens, I know that that ship is going to be there in port. No different than when we went to Europe and we went to visit Crete. Guys, our excursion was about an hour and 45 minutes late back to the ship. And the ship was waiting on we were the last ones to board. They had a shuttle because we had to take a tender boat, and they had the shuttle waiting for us because we went to this horrendous traffic in Crete that we didn't even know that we were going to make it. And we actually did not, because it took us an hour and 45 minutes to get back to the port. And we finished the excursion right on time. It was a lot of traffic. It was very congested, and the bus, it was a hot mess. And it was very nice and a very good feeling that Celebrity Ascent ship was still there waiting for us 16 passengers to come back from our excursion. And we had a magnificent excursion, but we were late, but the ship was there. So, when buying excursions, it is worth your money, and it's also a peace of mind. So just, when you're booking it, just keep that in mind. Sometimes you can save a couple of dollars here and there by booking outside, which is fine. I'm not saying that don't do it, but if you are, just keep in mind that have a plan B, just in case if plan A is not going to work for you. Okay. Our next question is, what is the best time of the year to cruise? That is a really good question. I get this question a whole lot, and it depends on the destination, guys. Like, for instance, like Alaska. Alaska, you only have from end of April to mid-September, and sometimes the first week of October, sometimes depending on the cruise line. A summer destination like the Caribbean is open throughout the whole year, while in Europe, the season for Europe is it starts like May, and it goes all the way through. So it just depends on the season. It depends on your budget, because if you can't do it unless if you have children and you can't travel until they get out of school, like spring break or summertime, then you're going to be paying more during that time. But to me, I think the best time is April. I think April is the best time for cruising. It's less hectic, less children. If you're going to the Caribbean, the waters could be a little bit more chilly. It's not like the summertime. The water of the ocean is really nice, but it's a different atmosphere altogether. I would say April and October are really good times to travel. Even though that in our time here in the state of Florida, there's a lot of hurricanes in the Caribbean Ocean and things like that. But, just keep in mind, I think April will be the best time for sure. April and May, I would say, before all the hectic summer and all of that stuff. Especially if you're going to Europe, I would definitely say go like the beginning of the season in Europe, which is like the end of May, beginning of June. It's you're catching it up at a time where it's kind of like the spring into the summer. It is not like super hot. It's still a little bit in the spring weather, but it gets warm, but it's not like hot, like scorching hot, like throughout the summertime. So if that's what you're looking for into Europe, best time to go. Because when we went last year to Europe, it was amazing because we went beginning of June, like the first week of June, and we left the 3rd and we got back on the 20th. And it was amazing because we caught that spring area and then into the summer. So it was really, really nice. Another question that I got here is, can I cruise alone? Absolutely. Many cruise lines offers a solo cabins. We talked about that last week. And cruise lines can be excellent way for a solo travel to meet people. If you are a person that you love to meet people, that is the best thing for you to do. Who are your solo cruise line, you may ask? Norwegian, Royal, Virgin, MSC. Hands down for solo. If you want to pay a double occupancy, you can do that as well. and you can use any other cruise line. You can cruise on any cruise line, but those are the ones that have the solo cabins, and then the rest will have, the double occupancy cabins for the solo. Give me a quick second. I'm going to put this here for you guys. I'll be right back.
Good afternoon, everybody. We've got an exciting group cruise announcement for you. This time around, it's going to be a very special occasion, as we have managed to get an invite to the inaugural sailing of the one and only MSC World Atlantic. This time around, we'll be sailing out from Port Canaveral in Orlando, Florida on November 13th, 2027. From there, the ship will be docking at Nassau in the Bahamas on the 14th and MSC's private Ocean Cay Marine Reserve on the 15th. After that, there'll be a relaxing day at sea where you can be one of the first people to explore this lovely new ship. On the 17th, they'll be docking in Cozumel, Mexico, followed by Costa Maya in Mexico on the 18th. From there, a single day at sea will be taking you back to Orlando to conclude the inaugural sailing. Be sure to book your cabins quick, as inaugurals like this tend to sell out really fast. You can contact us at jagonzalez@expediacruises.com or call us directly at 813-608-2935. We hope to see you on board with us.
Well, there you guys have it. Hopefully, I get to see you guys on board with us on the MSC World America, guys. And as we continue on today's journey here with all the questions, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you may have that I haven't touched base here and with all the questions that I received. Our next question, which is question number 11. What happens if there's a hurricane during my cruise? Like, what is it that I'm going to do if there's a hurricane? Cruise line guys, they monitor very closely these storms, and they can change the routes in a minute. Ports and schedules avoid dangerous weathers. So I had a lot of my customers, during this time, because as you know, it's hurricane season, we're in the middle of it. Usually it starts in the beginning of June and ends all the way in November. And Caribbean is more prone to like the hurricane situations here. Okay, so I have a couple of different answers for you when it comes to what happens during hurricane season if I am on a cruise. If you're on the cruise and something like that were to happen, even before the cruise leaves port, if they will know and they will change your route. Your route will be changed because they want to make sure they keep you safe. It's not like if they're going to go through the storm, that doesn't happen. And you might miss some of the ports of calls that you thought that you were going to go, and now you're not going to be able to go to those ports of calls because now your itinerary gets changed completely. If you have short excursions that have been booked, those will be refunded to you at 100% of your cost. Some cruise lines, depending on the situation of it, they may give you some onboard credit. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but they may, depending on the situation. Now, if you are inland and you are, let's say today is Thursday, and you leave, let's say Friday, and you're going out of Port Canaveral, and there's a storm passing by that is going to, maybe swing by Port Canaveral, kind of like brush them through the side or anything like that. It might be that your cruise might get delayed, and maybe it will be canceled. If those were the situations, excuse me, if those were the situations, then what happens is the cruise line will send you an email, and they will give you some options. And you will figure out the option that best suits you and your family. Excuse me. And you will make that decision. And some offers will be canceling the cruise at 100%, refund back to you. Or if it's a delay of a day, they might just say, you'll miss someday, and they'll probably give you some sort of onboard credit for missing that specific day if you still decide to go on the cruise, or they'll give you whatever. So it depends on the cruise line. So once you get that in the email, then you'll be able to figure out which option you want to go. And if you're working with a travel advisor, then you will contact your travel advisor and let them know of your options, so that travel advisor can then contact the cruise line and let them know, okay, they're going to be canceling, or they're going to be staying, or whatever the case may be. If you're doing it on your own, make sure you adhere to that email, and make sure that you plan accordingly to depending on what you're going to do, and you do everything as the email tells you. Just keep in mind, you're not going to be the only person calling that cruise line. Specifically, if those ships are huge, you're looking at 5,000-6,000 people trying to make phone calls, trying to gather all this information. So that's one of the reasons why you should always have a travel advisor, because at least with that, all you got to do is just contact your travel advisor, and she will do all that work for you, and you don't have to worry about it. That's the reason, and it's very important for you guys have somebody like me. Thank you. Okay, so our next one is the cruise ship Wi-Fi worth the cost? It depends. It depends how much you need to stay connected if you work remotely, streaming content, or regularly use social media. A package may be worthwhile, guys. I do spend a lot of money on Wi-Fi every time I cruise. I always have to buy the premium package, guys, and I'm going to be very honest with all you travelers out there. The premium package can cost you a pretty penny, and sometimes it doesn't even work perfectly, but you try to do your best. I never upload any content from a ship because I usually do that when I get here back at home. But I do work from ships with my business. So I do work from ships. I've never had a problem working from a ship, to be honest with you. But sometimes the Wi-Fi can be a little wanky. I'm not going to lie to you. So just keep that in mind, and just maintain yourself. If something happens with your Wi-Fi, make sure that guest services know, or you just go to your Wi-Fi area, your internet. They do have an area where they can help you with that if you're having a lot of problems. But there have been some instances where I have been on a cruise and my Wi-Fi has not worked properly. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they work perfect, because they don't. And now that they have Starlink, it's getting a little bit better. That's for sure. Are drinks included on a cruise ship? Usually the drinks and beverages such as water, coffee, tea, and some juices and are not included. Alcohol, specialty coffees, bottled water, and some soft drinks may cost extra. Now, if you were traveling on Disney, that's a different story, guys, because Disney does cover their sodas. They don't cover alcohol, but they do cover their soda. Which cruise ship have the best Wi-Fi? To be honest with you, Shakira, the best cruise ship that I've had so far, the best Wi-Fi, and I'm going to rank them in 3. It's going to be Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruises, and MSC. Carnival's Wi-Fi is a little bit on the, I don't know. And New Region, their Wi-Fi is okay, but not all there like I would like it. But that's my personal opinion on the Wi-Fi. If anybody's here that has gone on another cruise and maybe can help Shakira out with your answer, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, going back to drinks included on a cruise ship, only on Disney. Did you see my life? Well, the thing is that it depends on the ship. I've never been on the seaside. I've been on the seashore. I've been on World America, and I have been on, oh my God, Grandiosa. And I've never had a problem with Wi-Fi. I actually live stream from them, and I've never had a problem live streaming from the ship. So it may be the ships, it could be where you're located. I've done live streaming from my balcony on them. I remember doing in, I think it was on World America. But mainly when I do my live streams, I'm actually walking through the ship. So I've never done one on Celebrity and on Royal. I've done live streaming from the balcony, and I've never had a problem with them. And they don't hate you. But going back to the drinks and included on the thing. So yeah, on the cruise line. So Disney is the only one that includes your drinks that they come with the with your actual cruise rate. MSC, you can add your drinks and your Wi-Fi. Um, with New Region, you could do the free at sea. And actually, guys, I'll be honest, free at sea is a for me is a really good price, because when you look at the amount of money that you pay, which you're actually paying the gratuities, is very cheap to do the drinking part of it on NCL than it is in any other cruise line. Because for 7 days, I think you pay like 320. Where in Royal Caribbean, a 7 day cruise might cost you about $700 or $800. So it's a big difference in money. Um, with Celebrity, you can include the drinks and the Wi-Fi as a package deal. If they have a group rate, again, you will need a travel advisor for a group rate to help you with that. So keep that in mind, that those are the ones that drinks can be included. Do I have to eat at the main dining room? No, you don't have to eat at the main dining room. Depending on the ship that you're in, you could eat at the buffet, the casual restaurants, specialty restaurants, the cafes, the room service, and other dining options. Just keep in mind, guys, that when you're paying for it, why not use it? Because think about it. Here you go, you pay for a cruise, and if you want to do specialty dining, you could buffet it all the time. If that's what you're looking for, that's not a problem. But if not, then you'll be paying for specialty dinings and all the other stuff for 7 days. So it depends really how you want to handle that part of it, to be honest with you. So that is the only thing about the main dining room that I can think of. What is the best cruise for family with children? I love this question. When I saw this question came in, I was like, oh, I like this one. If you're looking for ships for kids clubs, water parks, family activities like entertainment, cabins, designed for children, hands down, I'm going to give you two of them. Royal Caribbean is number one. That's on my top of the list. MSC is my number two to go. World America, World Atlantic, World Asia, World Europa. Great for little kids with families. And number three, Carnival Cruise Line. And you might say, why did you put Carnival last? Because the other two, I feel that they have better kids clubs than Carnival. On the Carnival Celebration, you can eat free at the specialty dinings, one per cruise, does any other cruise line. On Carnival Cruise Line, especially on the Celebration, you're only able to choose Shebang and La Cachina. Those are the only two specialty dinings that you can dine at least one time, and it has to be after a certain time. I think it's 7 p.m. or so, like that, something like that. It used to be, those two used to be a specialty dining, but they are no longer a specialty dining kind of thing, Shakira, because when you start adding those, it's a specialty dining, but it's not at a cost. It's one that they complement for the client, and they kind of like took these two venues and did a complimentary kind of like specialty dining, so that the customer can have a little bit of more an elevated dining experience in their ship. But La Cachina and Shebang is a specialty dining, but now they actually incorporate it. And I think they incorporated those when Mardi Gras came to the fleet, because Mardi Gras was the first ones that, well, they have like Shebang and all of that stuff, but La Cucina has been in other Carnival fleet ships. But yeah, they're very good specialty dining. Specialty La Cucina is really good, and I love the flan that they have in Shebang. It is really, really good. I like Shebang for lunch more than I like Shebang for dinner. I enjoy their lunch, and lunch is complimentary, guys. So just keep that in mind. What is the best cruise for families with children? Okay, so we said it was Royal, MSC, and then Carnival. I'm gonna I put them in that rank. Those are my preference. That's my rank in my preference. Your preference might be Carnival, Royal, or MSC. I would never put one of my kids up until the age of, I'm gonna say 10, on a celebrity cruise. Well, up to 10 on the celebrity cruise. Anything 11 and above, I would not, because celebrity does not have a lot of kids areas for them to enjoy. So even though they do have a little kids club, it's very small. It's nothing like Royal. Royal does go out like love it how they have all of their adventure areas together, and they have the STEM classes for the kids. They it's just amazing. Royal, I really like how Royal puts everything. Now if you want to go Disney, then that's a separate situation altogether, because Disney for adventures for the kids is ranking number one if you're gonna go Disney. But I know a lot of you guys that watch my show, Disney is, they said that Disney is too expensive. Samara, my Disney queen, she's the only one that does Disney that I know of. She doesn't travel anything but Disney. I wish Samara would be here. She can probably vouch that Disney has the best kids area in the fleet, hands down. But I ranked Royal, MSC, and Carnival because I don't do a lot of Disney. But if you are a Disney fanatic, kudos to you guys in Disney, because they can rank number one on that one. All right. So our next question is, can I bring my own food or drinks on board? Cruise line have a specific policy regarding the outside food and beverages. Always check your cruise line's current rules before packing them. What do I say this? Because you don't want to get out, you don't want to get there and they said, look, you can take this, they will confiscate it from you, and if you have it in your luggage, it will get confiscated. I need her to adopt me and my family if she can afford them often. Actually, Shakira Samara, our queen of Disney, I don't know if she usually is here today, maybe she's busy. That's all she travels is Disney. That's all she does every year. I think she does it once or maybe twice a year. I could be wrong, but I think she does Disney every time. But don't bring your own food or drinks unless you actually check out the, look at the rules of your cruise line when you are, you don't want to be in a position where you're bringing some stuff and then they don't allow you to bring it on board. Specialty especially food items. In drinks, some cruise lines would allow you to bring like a 12 pack of like Coca-Cola and like water, like water cans or stuff like that. Check the rules and regulations depending on your cruise line, because I don't know them all by just giving them out to you. But check with them, because I think that you will find some really interesting information. Not only check the food items, also what types of, if you can bring an iron, because you can't. There's a lot of different things that you cannot bring on board. So whenever you're traveling, depending on the cruise line that you're doing it with, double check those for you. Go through their packing rules and check them. Hi, Samara. Look at the queen of Disney. Sweetie, we had a question for you because I know you travel Disney, Samara. When it comes to Disney, do you feel that you can rank the Disney adventure parks where the little kids are as number one in the cruise industry? Or do you feel that Royal Caribbean or I don't know if you've ever been on another cruise, and I know your family does. Can you give us your honest opinion on that? We would appreciate it. Thank you so much, Samara. Okay, so we're gonna move with our next question. Oh my God, it's already 7:45. Man, time is running like flying. Woo! That's what happens when you're having a good time with all you guys here. Okay, so what is the best cruise destination for a first-time cruiser? Gee, it could be so many. The Caribbean is often the great starting point because there's many itineraries, to be honest with you. It's convenient, the departure ports, beautiful beaches, and wide varieties of excursion. Yes, Disney Park is more for kids. See, so I always said Disney. I'm talking about the Disney cruise. I think, to me, and I've been on fantasy. I just went to Wish not so long ago. And I think that, to me, Disney ranks number one when it comes to their kids clubs. I love them, and they're so cute. They're just so cute. You guys need to see them. It has so much interactive stuff. It was just crazy. You guys are gonna see when the Wish comes, when the vlogs come out. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. It is divine, divine. I fell in love with the Wish. Um, okay, where was I? Okay, what is the best destination for first time cruisers? Okay, so there's I will always start in the Caribbean. Always start in the Caribbean because there's so much to see in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, you have, San Juan, St. Thomas, Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, Belize, Aruba, Curacao. You have Jamaica. You have Cayman Islands. You have Labadee, Haiti. You have Panama Canal, Costa Rica, Barbados, Grenada. You have Martinique. You have St. Kitts over there. You have Tortola. Oh my God, there's just so many different places to visit. So many different places to visit. So many different destinations. So many different excursion varieties for you guys. It's in the beautiful beaches. The color of the water is just, woo, it's just beautiful. Especially if you ever been onto St. Kitts. Oh my God, you can see from the mountain, you can see the Caribbean Ocean versus the Atlantic Ocean. It is just beautiful. Something that you will never see over here. If you're in Tortola, guys, check out the baths. I tell you guys all of the time, the baths are amazing to check out over there if you're in Tortola. So it's just a plethora of different things to do in the Caribbean, and then head out to Europe. Even though that I love Europe, I went last year and I can't wait to go back, guys. I just can't wait to go back. Let me see. The next question that I have here, how much should I budget for a cruise beyond the cruise fare? All right, so this is a good question. How much should I budget for a cruise beyond the cruise fare? A good starting point is to create a separate budget for like gratuities, excursions, transportation, Wi-Fi, drinks, shopping, and specialty dining. Because the way that I put it is, I look at my itinerary. Like, for instance, today, guys, my Greece cruise finally dropped. The dates have been put out there to the world to book. And when I looked at it, it's a 9-day cruise. I looked at all of the stuff. I'm looking to see now, what excursions do I want to take? Is it better for me to do the excursion on my own? Do I need to do it with the cruise line? How far is the place? Is it close to the cruise port? Can I just take a taxi and do it on my own? You got to factor in as much as you can for your budget. And that's where your travel advisor comes in place, because believe it or not, you need an experienced travel advisor, one that has traveled quite a bit. They can say, you know what, like, for instance, something that I learned in Europe when we went on the Celebrity Ascent, and I paid $95 per person of transportation to take us from the city center to Civitavecchia, Rome, to the cruise port, which is about an hour and a half bus ride. When we got there, we found out that for $150, think about it. I have a party of 4. So that's $400, $95, a little bit less, $480, let's say. And to take us to the port. And the taxis in Rome, they charge you $150 for 4 passengers with luggage from the city center to the cruise port. So these are the things that I learned when I went to Europe, and I wrote all that information down to help my travelers out there. So just keep in mind that when try to save as much as you can. Ask the questions, research. Okay, you look at these excursions through the cruise line. Okay, so this is what the excursion of the cruise line is costing me. Pull up Google Maps. Okay, this is the port of Cayman Island. Am I able to get a tender to the port of Cayman Island? Yes, it's a free shuttle. All right, so once I get there, if I want to go to hell in Cayman Islands, what is it going to cost me with the cruise line? Maybe $50 to do an excursion that takes you to hell in Grand Cayman. Oh, but if I take the bus or a taxi, it's going to cost me $2.50 round trip. Is the taxi going to be running all day? Yes. Is the bus going to be running all day? Yes. What bus can I take? You go to the bus stop and they say probably the H3B is the bus that takes you to hell and back. That was really cool right there. And you just take the bus and you come back on the bus. It's really cool experience. So these are the little things that you got to figure out when doing a cruise to see where's your money going to be allocated to, because excursions, specialty dining, things starts adding up, and by the time you know it, that cruise that you purchased like for $1,000, $2,000 for 2-3 people, let's say, now you're at $7,000. So just keep in mind, do your budget, see where you can cut some corners, but make sure that when you're cutting corners, that you're cutting the right corners and not messing yourself up, for you and your family as well. So ask the questions. If you have a travel advisor that, you need some help with that, ask those questions and we'd be more than happy to assist you here in Travel Adventures. What is the best way to choose a cruise cabin? Guys, start with your priorities: price, location, view, balcony space, accessibility, and how sensitive are you to ship movement. Locations can make a big difference in your experience. Location is a must, depending on the person that you are, because you know yourself more than I will ever know you. Like I said, I prefer the aft. I love the aft for many reasons. On the aft, you have very nice views and all of that, but you can take that elevator on the aft and boom, you're in the buffet, or you go down and you're kind of like there in the back of where everything is happening. And I like it because you go up, you're at the Lido deck. You go one floor up, you're at the buffet. You come back down, you walk to the middle, there's all the shopping there. So it's barely rare that you have to walk all the way to the front unless you're going to the main dining room. That's the reason that I love the aft. Maybe you guys never seen it that way, but if you look at the map and you look at that ship, everything is on the back and then all the shopping is in the middle. So you're not walking, especially if you're in an icon class, that ship is massive. And to be walking, it's crazy. That's my personal opinion. You got to let me know what's yours. The last question. Oh my God, we're almost running out of time. The last question. What is the biggest mistake first-time cruisers make? Not planning ahead. The biggest mistake a person, whether you're first time or a cruiser that you've been cruising or seasoned, what we call a seasoned cruiser, the biggest mistake that you can ever make as a first time or a seasoned cruiser is to wait last minute to book a cruise nowadays. In 2026, don't wait till the last minute. And I'm going to tell you why. I've been waiting for my Greece cruise to pop up for like 7 months now. It finally dropped today. And I was busy working. And I got the email that the cruise were already out. When I went, half of the ship is already sold out. You heard me. Half of that ship is already sold out. And I wanted to get it on the first day because usually you get a really good deal on the first day. But when I looked at the cabins that I wanted a sunset veranda for 3, gone. I couldn't get one. I ended up in a balcony, which is okay with me, but I wanted that sunset veranda because I wanted to do some videos and some stuff from back there. But that's okay because I still but I just want you to know, don't wait till the last minute. It's not like it used to be before the pandemic, guys. It's not like, oh, you get a $99, $200. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. It's very rare that you will find a jewel like that in today's world. Very rare. the longer that you wait to book that cruise, the more money you're going to pay. Unless that cruise is not selling properly, then you may have a really good chance. So that is the one of the biggest, is not planning ahead, waiting until the last minute to book your excursion, your specialty dining, transportation. I do apologize about my pets. Somebody's at my door. And or important cruise activities can limit your choice. So don't wait to the last minute, guys. It is no fun for your travel advisor or for you, because then we're trying to find what is out there for you, where can we get you, where can we put you at, and the prices are sometimes $3,000 to $4,000 or more. It's very rare that you're going to find anything within 1,000, 1,500 on a 3 and 4 day cruise. And if you don't believe me, you could check it on your own. You can go to Royal Caribbean right now and say, you know what, I want to go next weekend. Let me see how much it's going to cost me. And you're going to see for yourself the little interior cabin that maybe Joe from this corner purchased at $900 or $600 at one point last year. Your same cabin might cost you $2,000 or $3,000 for that same cabin, same sailing. And think about it. You don't want to be that kind of person that you're sailing with other people that pay way less, and here you go at the last minute. And I don't know, because I do have some of my clients that do book last minute because of their job, does the requirement of job. They sometimes they give them specific vacation dates, and they don't know when those vacations are going to be. That's a difference, because they're ready. These clients are ready to pay whatever needs to be paid to get on that cruise. But if it's you that you're trying to save some money, last minute deals ain't gonna cut it for you. I am being super honest with you as a travel advisor. I've been doing this for almost 6 years now, and I've seen every single thing that you can possibly imagine come through my desk. And the last week I had one lady that she wanted to go, and everything was 2,000-3,000, and it was a solo, 2,000 or 3,000. And her family was going, but she decided last minute that, you know what, I do want to go with my family. Let me see what I can find. And we couldn't find anything. MSC, sometimes they do have some really good deals, but it's far few in between that you will find a really good deal, on MSC or anything like that. But just keep in mind that when you are, booking your cruise or anything like that, just keep in mind, make a little checklist, do your due diligence and look at all your information. And if you're not for sure, then contact your travel advisor. Ask all these questions, send a text, send an email, say, hey, I'm looking into booking this cruise. What information can you give me? What do you suggest? Excursions. Have you been there? You'd be surprised. Every place that I've been. I don't even talk about all the different places that I've been, but I've been all over the Caribbean. I've been now to Europe, planning on going on Greece. I might be taking out a group for Greece. I'm still looking into that tonight. I'm going to be checking to see what I do with that, to possibly do a little group on Greece. So if you're interested, it's going to be for the sailing of June 22nd. It is a celebrity cruise, because guys, if you know me, I love my celebrity. It's going to be on the brand new Celebrity Excel. And it's going to be for the sailing of June 22nd. So I will let you guys know if I make the decision of doing a small group, because I did one last year. And that one, we were like 28 of us that went to to Europe. And we had a fabulous time. So if you're interested, let me know. And then maybe I decide, you know what, well, I'll just take out a little group space, and we can all go and have a great time. It's going out of Athens, and it's going to be going out of Athens all the way to Barcelona. I'm going to give you, where is it going for sure? Hold on, give me one quick second, because I have it right here. Okay, so it starts in Athens. It's going to go to Rhodes, Greece, Ephesus, Kousadasi, Mykonos, Santorini, Crete. It's going to have a sea day. We're going to go back to Sicily. I'm super happy because Sicily is, and I remember Mr. Harlan, and he says, Jackie, you went to Sicily. You didn't eat our Sicilian pizza, because he's from over there. So Harlan, if you're ever watching, we haven't seen you in a little bit. We miss you. And if I go back to Sicily, I will definitely eat a pizza in your name. and we're going to have a sea there and then back to Barcelona. So this is a 9-day cruise. So if that's something that you might be interested in, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to provide you with more information. With that being said, guys, it's already 8:01, so I already went 1 minute past my time. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. May God bless each and every one of you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Love you all to the moon and back. Toodaloo, guys. Toodaloo. I see you later.